Greetings, I'm Hondo, and this is my review of the Fairfield circuitry About 900. The signal chain for this one today is going to be the pedal just straight into my Darkglass MT900v2, totally flat, and then into my Apollo. And for the stereo signals, that's going to be straight out of the pedal into my Heritage HA73. And if you're interested in any of the gear that I'm using in this video, take a look in the description. There's gear links down there that are affiliate links, and they really help out the channel, and they don't cost you anything extra. So normally you would look at a pedal that has 4 knobs on it and think it's got to be relatively easy to dial in. And that's true, but these controls are very interactive with each other. The volume knob is pretty basic in the sense that all it does is control the overall volume of the pedal. However, there's a lot of volume on tap, so you can use this to really smash the front end of your amp if you want to get some drive out of your amp before you even touch any of the other controls. And speaking of smashing the front end, the input knob lets you increase the drive into the first gain stage of the pedal, so this has a huge impact on the amount of headroom that you have. There's a big range here from barely enough input and kind of sputtery sounding to really driving the first gain stage really hard and getting the signal completely obliterated. The fuzz knob is the simplest one out of all of them because you get more fuzz when you turn it up, and the amount of fuzz that you get is very relative to where all the other knobs are set. Now the bias control is where things get really interesting. In the specs it says the bias knob controls the symmetry of the saturation. I have no idea what that means. To my ears it sounds like on the one side the distortion is smoother and a little bit thicker, and then as you move through you hit kind of a spot with the highest amount of output, which is one of the spots that I used in the Soundclips earlier. Then on the other side it starts to go towards a tighter and kind of spitty type of sound that's like almost gated sounding when it's maxed out. The bias knob also drastically controls the volume of the pedal, so as you're moving it around when you're using this yourself, it's really important to compensate for what the bias knob is doing with the volume knob to make sure that you keep your signal at a unity gain. So this pedal was sent over to me for review, and I'd heard of Fairfield circuitry before, and I've heard of things like the Shallow Water and some of their other pedals, but I never heard of this Fuzz before in particular. And if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I've seen a lot of fuzzes and I've reviewed a lot of fuzzes. So my initial thought was just like, okay, cool, another fuzz. But when I got this, I didn't know how interactive the controls were with each other, and I kind of didn't know what I was doing trying to dial in a sound. So admittedly, I got kind of frustrated, put it to the side, didn't touch it for a day or two. Then when I picked it back up and was in a better place to kind of just like be patient and figure out what the hell was going on, I really started to like this pedal a lot. This is probably one of my favorite fuzzes now, and it just sounds great. You can get a lot of different sounds out of it. You can get some more kind of like what people will call like a transparent overdrive type of sound, sort of like an amp. And then on the same token, you can get really big fuzzes when you dial up the fuzz and the input knob, and it does all of this while staying very noise free when it's not in use, which is super impressive. And basically in any situation you would normally use a fuzz, this thing sounds really good, but in particular it was great with a pick, getting some more aggressive type sounds. It also sounded fantastic using it with my P-bass with flats to get some of those like more old school type fuzz sounds. And now this pedal is easily my favorite fuzz for getting big ambient sounds in stereo with reverbs and delays. With the exchange rate at the time of me making this video, this pedal is around 200 US dollars. And for the amount of sounds that you can get out of this, that is a very good deal in my opinion. This pedal could be something that you kind of just set to a lower gain type sound and just always leave on, and it's always a part of your sound. Or if you need a couple of different sounds like some overdrives and some higher gain stuff, this could be one pedal that you use for all those different sounds. But at the same time, the amount of interactivity in the controls, while it's awesome to get a whole bunch of different tones, It also makes it a little bit difficult to remember different tones that you dialed in. So if you do get this, my one recommendation would be to figure out a way to kind of document or record all the knob positions when you find tones that you really like, because otherwise it's going to be hard to find them again. I would recommend this pedal to anybody that's looking to have maybe just one drive on their board that covers a lot of ground, or somebody who is looking to kind of maybe fidget a lot and kind of mess with settings to get their own unique sounds. This pedal caters to both of those groups really well. And I think unless you're looking for a super tight metal style distortion, it's probably a drive sound that you are going to like somewhere in here. And it looks cool. The Fairfield stuff is very hard to mistake for any other pedal brand. But if you dug this video, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button and that thumbs up. And check out one of these two videos for some other cool gear I've done reviews on. And until next time, I hope you're staying happy and staying healthy. And take it easy.